George Bush doesn't care about black people. Please call.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lauren Hill.
And I am Stacey Arico.
Oh, shit. And together we are two Fach. Stacey Orico, I met her at the Village Underground in 2008, 10 years ago.
I had big hopes for her.
She could really sing, and
Yeah,
she was,
she could.
but she was super drunk. I love you, Stacey. I think you were drunk, and you sang "Love About Music Soul Child," and you sang "The Shit Out of It."
Mm-hmm.
And you were a gospel artist, so shout out to you. It's Ascension Thursday. Hallelujah, praise Jesus. All right, Samil, we're here in my backyard before it's beautified for the spring. It looks like trash, but it's okay. It's not trash though. So here we go. So, what's been going on, Sam? A lot of shit has been going on.
Kanye,
Who?
Bill,
Oh, Bill. But not off of Bill at the same time.
still Beyonce shit. Wendy
Beyonce's-
Williams offended black people, darkies, to be specific.
And she also offended everybody who's been a victim of R. Kelly fairly recently.
Mm-hmm.
He can't read. Girl, but he can read the...
And I watched some like earlier episode of hers with like Lamar Odom, and she was crying her eyes out by the time he got up and left. Because
Yeah.
She
She
could remember what he went
She
through.
interviewed him a couple of months ago. Okay,
Something I first want to start off and talk about is
let's start.
Doria Ragland, mother to Meghan Markle, is set to have a sit-down interview with Oprah Winfrey
No, she's not.
about the racist abuse her daughter has experienced since being engaged to Prince Harry. I can't wait.
Well, they're from Compton. Did you know that? They're from Compton.
Well, I read Meghan Markle's whole story. Her father actually has other fully white kids from a previous marriage.
So her
And
father's white.
her mother's black. Then moved there and met Megan's mom and had Megan. And they said that was the apple of his eye because by then he was really ready to be a father. But he worked in the entertainment industry. He was like behind the scenes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I mean,
The wedding is this weekend or no? Next weekend?
I didn't even know it was this soon.
I mean, honestly, I don't really care about royal weddings, but the fact that she's one of us, she's an American, she's a divorcee, and she's black,
Yes.
and we cheer for all things black.
All things black.
So, good look on you.
But not even that. It was just like how the British people, who somehow I think in America, we always think that Europeans don't have intense views of race the way that we
They
do
definitely
here.
do. It's probably even worse.
But when she became the fiance to Prince Harry, so many racial statements were made. Like people had like a wedding ring box and had like a fried chicken nugget in it.
I mean, I would accept that.
Everything from that to calling her the N-word. So I'm really interested to hear what her mother is going to sit down and talk about with Oprah Winfrey, because one, she's going to talk about from a mother's perspective about what it's like to sit there and watch your daughter be abused and you can't do anything about it.
Especially since it's by the mass media.
Right. And then I think she's going to talk about, her falling in love with a white man, having a mixed baby, her daughter falling in love with the prince, and maybe we'll even hear some things that Meghan Markle has felt, but that obviously she can't share in massive interviews anymore.
Well, I didn't
She's
know.
also walking away from acting altogether.
Yes, no, that's what I was about to say. I was watching the Met Gala, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But right after the Met Gala, they had the biography of Meghan Markle. And they talked about how when she got engaged, she got rid of all her social media.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to no longer act. She's going to be part of the royal family. And I just think that since they're obsolete, I guess they're figureheads at this point. Like, I mean, what for? But, I mean, girl, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, didn't you see what happened to his mother?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Princess Diana.
I'm happy for her though. I mean,
Me too.
I'm rooting for true love.
She must really love him, and he's younger than her. She's older than him.
Mm-hmm. Only a few years. It don't matter when
She's really beautiful.
you're very.
Really beautiful. You get to hear the lovely planes that pass through Jersey City, and you might hear some police sirens. Bleep. Shout out to Nene Leaks.
And her various nose jobs.
Bleep. We love you though, Nene. Rise. So let's talk about Kanye. Let's get in it. What do you think about Mr. Make America Great Again, Kanye West?
Some of it, honestly, at first I was like really angry,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched like other like
Understandably so.
black women talk about the anger they felt, especially like Eve on that show, The Talk. But
Yeah, he went in.
He did. Now to the point where I feel like it's like literally just publicity for this new album.
This is what I was gonna say.
And because he's on that gravy train, the Kardashians, you
Yes.
know, Kris Jenner is just all about
Yeah.
publicity stuff.
For me, it's like you're married into a family of. I mean, this is no disrespect. This is how you make your money, but you're a bunch of media whores, and all you do is make money. And it's really sad that he's using this platform, the plight of black people, to sell records. But if you kind of think about it, at least a black man is doing it. But still, it's all kinds of fucked up.
His mother was an African American history teacher.
And his father is also like very highly educated, also a professor in school. So I had a conversation with somebody, and they said, well, maybe he wasn't raised in the right way, and he's still grieving and all this. And I'm like,
I mean, I guess so.
I guess so, but like, for example, we canceled Christophe Michelle for accepting a gig. As an artist, if somebody paid me however amount of money, and she had a message, she said she wanted to sing a gospel song. There was another gospel artist with her. There was actually 4 gospel artists asked to perform. Only the originator of the song, Travis Green, and Christophe Michelle agreed. And then we canceled her, and even though she's apologized and basically taken back everything, people still don't listen to her music. And I get it, Kanye is considered a more prolific artist in the pop world.
Also, like the time that Chrisette did that, it was just
It was too much.
too much,
Well,
too fresh.
But Kanye was doing it too at the same time. Remember, he met him at the Trump Plaza. It's just different how we treat women, especially black women. Because like Travis Green's career has exploded even the more. He's won even more awards.
And we love him.
We love him. We love Travis Green. Like, you know, we listen to his worship music all the time. He's an amazing artist. But poor Chrisette, I mean, I don't know. Also, I wanted to talk about Kanye being a genius. Somebody posted a status up, and they said, well, Kanye samples beats, and he just samples other people's music, which is still in and itself genius, but Stevie Wonder created music, and he's a blind man. He created sounds that we use today. So, I don't know. I don't want to write off Kanye, but I am writing off Kanye.
Are you saying that you don't think he's a genius?
I don't think so.
I do.
I think Kanye is a genius in this way. It does take a very special artist to say, I'm going to repurpose this package. But he didn't create the package. The way he talks about himself, talking about he's part of the Medici family, he wants to be like the Medici family, which was huge artists in the Renaissance era. He's not doing that. They created art, or they paid people to create art. Kanye's not really doing that. He's just exploiting other black artists. He can find a really good sample though, like the sample that he put on the record. I didn't hear the whole record, but I heard the sample. I was like, what?
But I think he does create some of those sounds, but just with electronic music.
Yeah, no, like the Heartbreak 808 album. That's him.
Yeah,
But
that's amazing.
and I don't want to hear anybody say he's more than his mother, because everybody's going through some stuff. And he said he got liposuction. His mother died from liposuction surgery. So like, it just speaks to the pathology. I don't even know if he's really crazy.
But he also said that he got liposuction. That was when he went into TMZ. He said, I got liposuction for y'all, because they were calling him fat.
No, he said he didn't want them to. He didn't want them to call him like.
No,
Rob.
but they already called him fat. But he said he didn't want them to keep calling him stuff like Rob Kardashian, because he obviously saw firsthand how that ate up and ate away at Rob.
Well, first of all, any publicity is good publicity according to them. But let's just talk about how he said slavery doesn't exist, that it's a social construct, and it's free thinking, and blah blah blah. I don't know if it was free thinking.
Well, he was talking about how 400 years of slavery is a social construct, and how he thinks it's a choice. Now, if I remember correctly, I think the first known slave to come to America was in the early 1600s. Before it became quite popular in the 1700s, and then it was quote unquote liberated in the late 1800s, and there was still a definite air of slavery actions going on in the country until about probably the 1970s. And so far, and I mean that by black people being sharecroppers and still working on farms like that.
Not owning property.
Yeah, Jim Crow laws, civil rights, not being able to vote.
It's only 40 years
So
ago.
I think that is about 400 years. And that's not a fucking choice.
It's not a choice, because it's a system that was created, a patriarchal system, a racist system, that people think that you can just burst out of. But if that's the only thing you know, and that's how you keep yourself safe.
If you're on one plantation, there's like 700 of you.
Yeah.
And you kill the master, you burn it the fuck down. So what makes you think that you could just run through the fields and like not get caught up by the next fucking white family?
Exactly.
Like you weren't allowed to do fucking anything. You weren't
can do
allowed
that.
to
You
think
can do that now, but
or walk around freely.
Exactly. So, Kanye, your words are very dangerous, and we really shouldn't even be giving you and your wife's family any attention, because you guys are ready. This is what y'all wanted. You know what I mean? This is what y'all crave.
But it's also really sad, because when Kanye first came out, I think what did make him genius was that College Dropout album.
Yeah.
Was just, for one, not everyone could drop out of college and become like a multi-millionaire success, okay? But he was like, that things like that were possible, and he believed in himself enough. Like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of artists don't maybe have that type of self-belief.
And he took chances, like putting out a record like Jesus
He took
Walks.
a chance like that, and he just talked about his experience at college. Now, obviously, by now, his experiences are quite different. And those are the things that he's starting to express and talk about. But I did find that album to be genius at the time. And I also found him
For
to
hip-hop, for sure.
Yeah, and I found him to be genius for a hip-hop artist to want to... He said he would watch rock concerts, and he was like, I needed to have a concert, like a rock concert. Because hip-hop concerts are just like me and all my mans on stage. You know what I mean?
No
He
band, no.
He wanted epic everything, epic light, scale, stuff like that. And he thought in a different way
Than a usual
black
hip-hop artist.
hip-hop artists were thinking at that time.
Yeah, I think he elevated the game. I will say that. He elevated the hip-hop game. People are way more artistic now. People are way more vocal. But still...
More singing and rapping now.
Yeah, and I don't think his last couple of records have been that dope. And I see a whole generation of kids who don't necessarily pick up instruments, they just pick up 808 things, which is great. But they don't pick up live music anymore. And I think that's part of the disconnect. Kanye is not a live person. It's not an authenticity. Whereas you do see a lot of artists who do show a lot of authenticity. I mean, I love Kanye. I used to love Kanye. I don't know. I love Kanye because we love everybody. But we ain't fucking with you no more. I mean, at least I'm not. I'm not buying your record. I'm not even going to stream it because I feel like you've given white people a license to say that all of this is okay. That's the crime in it. Because I see some of my Caucasian, I don't want to say friends, acquaintances, retweeting all things that Kanye's saying.
Right.
And it makes them think that it's okay, that it's all right.
And you're down.
And you're down for the cause if you're down with Kanye. But
That's not the black man you should be like modeling all of the black things after.
That's not the black man that said George Bush don't care about black people, which was a revolutionary statement to make in 2004 or 2005 about Katrina. You know what I'm saying? We still don't forgive a lot of these people for what they said.
But he ain't
during
sitting here
Katrina.
saying like Donald Trump don't care about Puerto Rico.
Or he don't. Not even that. Donald Trump don't care about Flint, Michigan.
Right.
We're so worried about North Korea. We're so worried about Iran, but we're not worried about Flint, Michigan. That just speaks to the level of level of awareness that Americans have. That we're worried about everybody else's problems except our own.
Right.
Like, how can we even help the world heal if we're over here with starving people in a county that can get clean water?
If you're over here with starving people, you're stepping over at the train station.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't even give the mom off the street $1 without saying, well, I know he's gonna buy drugs. Well, maybe he is, and maybe that's the way he's gonna get through it today. But you showed him some kindness, and maybe he won't because you showed him some kindness.
Right.
But instead of you walking past him and saying, well, you a drug addict anyway, let me send this money over there to
Even
swap.
if you don't say that loud.
Yeah.
In your own heart.
Even if you say it in your own heart, you say a little prayer for them. Instead, what we do is let's go adopt children from other countries and give them money, and then there are starving children here, Madonna, going to Malawi to get kids. Girl, aren't you from Detroit? There are a lot of kids in Detroit who need a home.
But what you doing with them kids though?
Using them as the latest purse.
Okay.
God bless.
Well, that's what I think.
That's what I think too. I mean, maybe not Angelina Jolie, but even then, still weird. It's still just so fucking weird to me. Like, black babies are the new thing. Like, one of my favorite British shows is Absolutely Fabulous, and her daughter, Safi, Edina, one of the lead characters, her daughter gets pregnant when she's doing missionary work or something in Africa, or she's teaching. And her grandmother, Edina, goes, oh my God, I can't believe it, we're gonna have a black baby. A black baby, can you believe it? It's a black baby. Because she was making a commentary on how people who are not...
white people are about like, look how cool I am, look how hip, look how different.
Just like when they retweet
But
Kanye West.
I do know white people that do have black babies.
And genuinely care.
And love them.
No, and
fought to have those kids.
That's not negating that either. It's just like, it becomes a fad. Like, you're not supporting Kanye West because he's black, but Kanye West don't care about us colored people right now. He really don't. He cares about the brand, about the Kims, and I mean, your wife's brand is literally pornography. That's her brand. I'm not trying to negate the fact that she's a fashion icon or whatever, but her brand, she knows her brand. She still posts nude pictures on Instagram and really gives these girls out here an image to look up to that's unreachable because that body is not created and sculpted just by nature. It's a lot of makeup, it's a lot of surgery, it's a lot of... And I guess you could say that that's art, but that's not art. When you compare it to someone like a Beyonce, like when she says in that song, Top Off, and she's like, my body, my ice, and my cash, all real, I'm a triple threat.
I mean, that's what she said, though. I can't compare I don't know. I feel a certain type of way about that because we can't sit here and compare someone like Kim Kardashian always to a Beyonce.
Okay,
there
fine.
are many other beautiful
There are many
women
other.
out there.
Oh, let's say like an Ashley Graham, who be careful, we out here in the woods. Like an Ashley Graham, or like a Tori Kelly, like a regular girl, a beautiful girl, but she's never gonna be seen as sexy. She's always just gonna be seen as the Christian girl. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? You gotta look like Kim Kardashian now. You gotta look like the Kardashians, like Kylie and Kendall and all of them. We're worried about the chairs. They just create this false facade that doesn't exist for real women. So like we're gonna use real women as an example. Like that's not it. And a lot of our girls and a lot of our boys think that they have to look and sound like Kanye and Kim. And that's an irresponsible, you know, tool to use your platform as. Whereas like Jay-Z and Beyonce, yeah, they did all that like fancy stuff in the beginning, but now they're using their voice, their power, and their money to create change in the world. And I think
people feel different about that too, though.
no, people feel differently about that too. You don't have to agree with me. Like some feminists take issue with Beyonce. A lot of black people take issue with some of the things that Jay-Z does, as far as ownership of music and whatnot. But they're trying to move forward and be better. You know what I'm saying? Just like Barack Obama wasn't the perfect president, but he was a good president. You know what I mean? He was trying. I mean, he was left a shit show for 16 years before him. It was like a shit show happening. You know what I mean? So I thought that. Well, let's segue into Childish Gambino. And this is America video. That shit is some powerful art, man.
High art.
High art.
Dope.
Like, okay, so when I first saw the video, obviously the themes of black bodies being used and being shot are just, it's a theme that he's trying to awaken people's minds, and the people falling down, like the kids, like they're dancing, like whatever dance they're dancing, and then kids are really falling down and getting shot in the back. But the things that we really missed are the way his facial expressions are, his poses. When he shoots, he looks like Jim Crow. When he's over there dancing, he's having crazy eyes. It's almost like Clockwork Orange, where we're being programmed, reprogrammed. And I don't know if y'all caught the white horse in the back.
I did.
My God. I think it's really powerful. I understand he's a polarizing person to do it for a lot of black people, because a lot of people take issue with his early comedy work.
Right.
His anti-black and anti-Asian stance, or what it seemed like in his comedy, because it is comedy after all.
Shocking comedy.
It's shocking comedy. So, I mean, and the fact that he has a Caucasian wife, which I don't think negates the fact that he can still make great black art, because he's still a black man in America. And maybe that's just who he chose to fall in love with, because the ideal is that one day we become one human race. The ideal is. And I get the platform that people being upset at him for that. And what are your thoughts? I mean, I love the video, I love the record. The record, I don't know if it would be as powerful without the video, but...
I think, I mean, all the black people just like dancing around and everything like that.
That's dope.
That just shows us how we appropriate black people and culture. We want
Or
us
it's a
to,
distraction. It's used as a distraction.
We want us to just entertain and just put on, and then people want to imitate us and take. But then next thing you know, they're killing us. Some people even said that some of his movements were a little bit too feminine, and they called him gay.
Oh God.
I think that he also is, though, talking about gay culture in a way of showing like more feminine movements.
And how that is part of mainstream culture.
How it's a part of mainstream culture, and it's still a black gay thing that's a part of mainstream
Yeah, like
culture.
voguing.
I think so, yeah.
Madonna like allegedly created voguing, but it was really like black men
in New
in
York.
the village.
And so I really did love that. As far as like him married to his or that's his girlfriend. Are they married?
I don't know.
They have a kid together, so they're in probably a stable, committed relationship. And he wrote something about him being like a black nerd, and like black women didn't really take him seriously for so long because he wasn't hood enough, gangster enough, or not like the black man that they wanted, or like, you know, Saul, or, you know, were used to. And I think that, you know, him being a black nerd, he decided to step out. Somebody even posted something like, well, all the female black nerds, they're not as cute.
What?
Which is not true.
That's not true. Issa Rae is a female black nerd.
Yeah, there's
super
tons
cute.
of cute black females and cute black males that are nerds. I think he just fell in love with that girl. She probably got him, and maybe it was accidental. He probably wasn't looking to fall in love with white girls, or he probably just didn't think about it altogether at all.
Or maybe that's the only girl that showed him any play. My God.
Right.
So, I mean, I know a lot of Asian girls who were hot off of Childish Gambino, though. I like his music recently. When it first came out, I was just like, I don't know if I like this. It was all the same. But now that it's creating a conversation.
He used to be on that show Community, though, and he like took a back seat so he could start making his music.
Well, so from one comedian to another. So shout out to Childish Gambino, Bill Cosby. My God. Okay. So I saw a lot of reactions from both sides, and I think that it's unfair to put Bill Cosby in the realm of wronged black men. I don't think it's fair to even elevate his story that way, to compare him to, I get it, Harvey Weinstein and whoever is part of, all these other Hollywood predators who have done these things to women. They haven't been prosecuted as of yet. But Bill was doing this for a really long time, and he's somebody who we trusted, the community trusted, and we thought was a father figure, and he was raping these women. He admitted to raping these women and drugging them. And here's the thing for me. I remember when Bill Cosby said that people in my community, with their sagging pants and their vocabulary, that basically he said we were not shit. But those are the people right now who are riding for you, Bill. And it's so strange to me because like everybody else, I thought Bill Cosby was like a great father figure growing up.
Well, I think that pants sagging comment comes more from like middle-aged black people when hip hop started to take off. None of them could get with it. My mother hates people sagging their pants too.
I get it, but like, he's an artist, so he should understand the trend of art and the trend of culture.
But he did it.
He did it
at that time.
He did it.
Hip hop first came out. It's still not the same as it is now. When he was first speaking about it, and he probably saw it directly influencing those kids on that show.
I just think it's painful for a lot of black people to have been treated so marginalized by him, and then they have to go and defend him. Because a lot of people will believe.
They don't have to.
I feel like they have the need to. And then the black people who don't speak, it's because they agree that he should have been in jail. Listen, I'm not like Wendy Williams and thinks that he should get house arrest because he's 80. Because I feel like if the punishment fits the crime, the punishment fits the crime. Here's the thing.
I do.
Those women are always going to feel that pain of abuse for the rest of their lives. That pain is never going to go away for them. It might transfer into something else because energy can always be transferred. But that memory of not trusting a lot of men will remain in a lot of women's careers, a lot of black women's careers. The thing that was most moving to me was the black actress and the model who came out and said, and she started crying because she said for years she never felt that anyone could hear their voice because he was such an important figure in the black community. She said, I couldn't look at my black son and say, I'm about to really bring down a man who created room and space for you in the industry. You know what I'm saying? But she said, I had to do it because it wasn't fair that me and other women have suffered because of it. I mean, God bless. I'm
so in shock about it.
I know.
I love the Cosby Show. I really thought I had a deep love for Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
And I think that timing of him trying to buy NBC and this coming out, not saying that one is a lie or one is the truth. I just think that whatever the industry was sitting on all these years of these stories about Bill, when that came around, whoever really had it out for Bill was just like, you know what? We about to spill the whole shit, Bill.
But here's the thing: they were covering up for him.
Of course,
because he was making the money. But Bill's not making anybody any money anymore except for himself. Like Camille must have known. You can't sleep with the same man. This man has heated steps and a heated sidewalk, so he never has to shovel snow in New York. You know what I mean? So he's knowledgeable about everything. It's just a very sad situation, and it sucks because we need to protect black legacies and people of color's legacies. But we cannot protect your legacy if there's this much overwhelming.
But that's the thing, like
evidence.
God, I mean, MLK was a cheater too. So I mean, what are you gonna? I think what it does for Bill Cosby, for all that truth to come out about Bill Cosby, it almost lets America know, black people know, that black men that fuck up are on the same equal scale as white men, and it somehow equalizes their manhood and humanity. That lustful nature in men just stays. It doesn't matter if you're black or you're white or you're successful or you're low down broke. You have these things in you. All people do.
Proclivities.
Right. But the thing is, as hard as people came down on Bill about that shit, and then you still got your Woody Allen's.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
Out there,
I just think that
I'm just showing you that that type of, I don't want to use the word perversion, but that type of perversion in him, in Harvey, in R. Kelly, in Woody Allen. And that shit is like some type of equal thing that all men go through. As much as you want to look down at that black man, he's got that same shit going on that you do.
The thing that's also like really just bad is, I think Bill knew his responsibility to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I hate to say this because it shouldn't be this way, but when you're black or you're a person of color, you just got to be 100 times better than them to even be in the conversation.
Right.
And so it was his responsibility to protect his legacy, to make sure that none of that happens. And I know that he shouldn't have to live his life thinking like, I have to live my life for these people.
Mm-hmm.
But until black people are on the same footing as these white people, which it seems so close 10 years ago, but it seems so far now. You know what I mean?
Never seemed close to me as a black
It
person.
just seemed close when Barack Obama became president.
Really?
It felt like that for 5 minutes. Then 5 minutes later, when I saw people who were upset the fact that he was voted in,
5 minutes later, when they were like telling Barack Obama his wife is a fucking monkey.
that's
and
what I'm
wanna give
saying.
him fried
Like the
chicken.
inauguration, I just remember the inauguration going to NJCU. We were both graduates of New Jersey City University. I remember we stopped school and we were all in a multi-purpose room. We were watching the inauguration. We watched Aretha Franklin in that big ass hat, and we were so proud. We all had Obama shirts. We were so proud. 5 minutes later, like you said, before the inaugural ball, Michelle Obama's outfits are tragic. So, you know, it seemed more hopeful then.
They're too tight, too form-fitting. No, she
Yeah.
got a fucking big ass.
Like, you
butt.
know, like, I feel like if Barack
So
had
what?
to live a life that was basically Samuel Monk-like, like he smoked a blunt or two, you know what I'm saying? But Bill don't, it's not fair. And it's not fair in general. It shouldn't be like that for people of color. You should be able to make a mistake and come back from it.
Right.
But unfortunately, it's not like that. So, like,
Like people want us to accept fucking Paula Deen.
yeah,
I'm like,
after she said
what
all
the
that shit,
fuck?
like, but she gets to get another platform because she is a beloved character.
Southern Belle,
And we
talks
celebra-
like
and we
this,
celebrate
and
that whole- yeah.
I can make fried chicken that makes your heart melt.
But she got to call people the bunch of
Niggas,
N-words, yeah.
Basically, that's what the fuck.
And she didn't say it with the G-A, she said it with the G-E-R.
Yeah.
You know, but that's unfortunate that
Well, she also had them like serving her guests at her plantation.
at her plantation. Let's be very clear. I just want to say this because I said this in an earlier post. Iyanla Vanzant had a show with Philando Castile's fiance, Diamond Reynolds, and Trayvon Martin's mother. What is Trayvon's mother? Sabrina Fulton. And she had them on the show. It was a really powerful moment. I think you guys should go check that out. One of the things that struck me was Sabrina Fulton's poise.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that struck me was Diamond Reynolds' openness to healing.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they have to live in a world where Sabrina Fulton even has to accept that her 17-year-old son could just get shot.
Right.
The fact that we have to live in that world is just very, very, very painful. And white people need to not stop being offended. That's what Iyanla was saying on her show. She said people need to stop being offended and just see this person, and she's in pain. She was shot. Her boyfriend, fiance, was shot right next to her in a car with her 3-year-old daughter. Her 3-year-old daughter, who will probably hold trauma, whether or not she
The rest of her life.
for the rest of her life. She'll heal from it. Of course, we speak healing into her life, but she's always gonna remember how Daddy died, and she always has to be a spokesperson. Why does she have to be a spokesperson for everybody now when she grows up? You know what I mean? Why can't Diamond Reynolds grieve without having to be a spokesperson for Black Lives Matter? Same thing with Sabrina Fulton. She said she didn't want the responsibility, but she knew that it was what God called her to do, which made me cry for like hours. But it's just the way that young black men have to be. Trayvon was just a regular teenager.
Yep. He was just a regular boy.
And
walking
so
home.
was Philando Castile. Philando Castile was a good guy. He had a gun. He had his license to carry a gun. Whereas the NRA defending Philando Castile. So fuck y'all
Nowhere.
very fucking much. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all, because y'all could get people get shot and y'all don't give a fuck. So my point of all of this is, like what Iyanla was saying, white people have to stop being offended when we call shit out. It's systematic
And
racism.
you know what? But the reason why they're offended is because deep down in their white guilt,
They know it's true.
they know that they have a lineage of wronging people.
Yeah, it's part of the pathology. So you have to clear the pathology. But if you don't want to speak about it, like I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were having a religious discussion, and they started bringing up the founding fathers. And for me, the founding fathers are, with all due respect, I'm an American. I love America, and I love the freedoms that I have. Their behavior was, quite frankly, trash-like. You know what I'm saying? They had George Washington had slaves who he erected 900 slaves where he took out their teeth, because the story is that he had wooden dentures. No, he had human teeth in his mouth. You know what I mean? We celebrate Alexander Hamilton in the musical Hamilton. But what you don't know is the secret life of Hamilton having slaves. They all had slaves. Or how Thomas Jefferson, we romanticize Thomas Jefferson having this love affair with his sister's half-black sister, Sally Hemings. But he was raping her. And then he kept his own children, half-black people, as his slaves. And it wasn't until the end of his life that he even freed his children. Think about the pathology for that. We gotta talk about that stuff. We gotta unpack it, and you gotta not be offended, because we're not trying to come for you, Mary Lou Peoples, and your family. We're just trying to say that the lineage, you very well be standing with us on the front line. But I really appreciate it when people can say, even me as a Filipino, we're indoctrinated into this white supremacy where they are better than us, so we've always been subservient to them. And then, even though we're subservient to them, we feel like we're somewhat superior. That's not real. We gotta stop using, like, to pinpoint Childish Gambino's point in this video, we gotta stop using black bodies for entertainment, to bring us joy. And we're not talking about how they're being massacred at a rate that is alarming. Black Lives Matter is not just about black people standing up for black people. It's about all people standing up for everyone's rights. Because when
everyone's life.
Exactly. When Black Lives Matter, then your life will matter. Because how can Philando Castile be an NRA member, have his license, and he's saying, I am taking out my license, and you just shoot him, out of fear.
In front of his kid.
Yup. A lot of our it's based in fear.
But it's also like white male cops cry fear all the time, and you have the upper hand in all the situations.
You have a gun.
You have a radio.
You have a badge, and you have brothers who will protect you.
Yeah, and it's like you're coming up against like one guy, two guys. And I'm not saying, like, obviously when you get out the car or you go into a situation, you don't know what you're going to get into, and I get that. But for you to sit here and always cry fear, and it's like, if you're that much of a fucking pussy, then you need to be a cop in the first place.
My grandfather was a police officer. My cousins are police officers in New York City. If they couldn't hack it, they shouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? If you can't handle the train, that's why in the same show, Iyanla talked to a black officer from New York. And he said the training has to be better. The training has to be better.
But the training it's like they need like psychological training. Like
yes.
They need to take like sociology.
That's what she said.
They need to take like intro to African American history. Intro to African American history, I truly believe should be,
or intro into real American history.
It should be a part of like black public school.
It should be part of public school.
All public school. I don't know why I said black public school. It should be a part of all public school, that you should have to take an intro to African American history, an intro to Native American history.
Native American history,
for sure. Intro to these people that really are the backbone of
this country. I was fortunate enough to go to school in Jersey City, Mahatma Gandhi School, PS23, where we had teachers and people in higher positions that talked about Native Americans, the plight of black people. My first teacher in first grade was Miss Harding. I love you. She's a black woman. You know what I mean? So I had a lot of great influences. Not everybody's as lucky. I had a friend who I met in college who lived in Long Island, sort of a rich lifestyle. She didn't even see a black man until she was 5, and she thought he was a monster.
And that's the thing, like, there's a guy downtown Jersey City, an artist named Brandon. He's a professor at like a community college on the cusp of like Jersey and Pennsylvania. And he says that he is most of those white kids' first black teacher ever.
In life.
Ever.
In Jersey City.
He's from Jersey City, but he teaches at a community college on the border of New Jersey and Pennsylvania.
Oh, well then, yeah, he's definitely the first college professor that they've seen.
He's the first black teacher they've had ever, like I just said.
Even that, my friend, well, first black person they see, period, probably over there. My friend said to us, she cried one day after we were in our gospel ensemble. She said, I don't think slavery exists. Why do you guys still stay there? Because it's still real. Public schools, in the public school system I went to, we had books from 1986. I was born around that time.
Why do we still stay there? I don't get that.
Why do we still stay there in that position of we were slaves? Why can't we all just be one? Well, we can't be all one because you don't even know what's going on in public schools. I remember her crying and being very upset with me when I said, you got to go to a public school, you had brand new textbooks every year. You got to go into a public school where your teachers were certified, paid really well, and gave a shit about you. We went to public schools that had books from 1986, in 2005, and 2011. You know, we had the systematic racism. It doesn't trickle down from that.
Why would she even say like, why do we stay here?
Because she doesn't understand.
We're black. That's part of our ancestry, our lineage. That's honoring our ancestors and our culture.
Why do you still wear kilts?
The same reason why Indians do holy, right?
Yeah, the holly, yeah.
With I don't know. Paint. Or the same reason why Native American Indians do things for their ancestors. The same reason why Christians honor Jesus. Like, it means something to them, to the history of them, what they believe in and their people. It means something to us. And we shouldn't have to explain to you why we still want to sing these songs, why we still have these conversations. I mean, my great grandmother was born in 1908. So to sit here and say that she never experienced racism would be a fucking lie. When she scrubbed white people's floors all her lives.
How old is your mother?
And my mother is in her 60s.
Exactly.
My father was born in North Carolina. He
in the Jim Crow
drank
era.
out of black water fountains. He got hosed by people.
We have a lot of educators.
Like
Sunny Hostin from The View said that her mother called her and said, you know, you're very fortunate because you're the first black person in our family who didn't live under Jim Crow. She's only 40 years old. Or 45. Can you believe that shit? You know what I'm saying?
But that's the type of stuff that we went through.
But then y'all
it's directly related to our household, like what we talk about in our house and how people talk about things.
Yep. Well, let's do one more warm topic and then we'll end on a lighter note for the Met Gala. R. Kelly's music, as of today, has been removed from Spotify.
I know, that's really great.
That's great. It's a great move. I love R. Kelly's music. I don't necessarily know if I stand by R. Kelly. It's just. So to segue into something positive too, Janelle Monáe's record, Dirty Computer. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I've seen some of the videos.
It is amazing work. Check it out on YouTube. It's on her channel. I gotta say, I mean, aside from her coming out as pansexual and all that, just the commentary, the whole concept of dirty computer, meaning that we're told that we're dirty and there's something wrong with us, which was a topic that I actually talked about, and we'll elaborate on another show, where spiritually speaking, we're all seen as dirty, or if we're black, we're dirty, if we're Asian, we're dirty, and we need to be washed clean of our memories of pain and trauma that actually create a better person. Pain and trauma create more compassion, which creates more love, which creates more people, you know? Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate her doing that work and still being fine as hell doing it. She looks amazing. The treatments are really good. I need them to give her like a really huge budget so she can make a movie. And she's amazing. Is there anything else you want to talk about real quick? So just check that out.
Rihanna Savage X Fenty lingerie line that's going to include plus sizes.
Yes.
It's going to drop on May 11th.
Hey, that's like a couple days from now.
Yeah. So you should definitely support.
Yeah, and you guys should still be supporting
and
Robin Fenty.
We love her makeup.
Yep.
Everything about
So
Rihanna.
Since we're about Rihanna,
so of course you should have like lingerie.
Rihanna was the queen of. We're gonna close with. She was the queen of the Met Gala.
I still didn't see any
this year. She did see it, but you know what? The theme was. There's a theme close and dear to my heart. The theme was heavenly bodies, the Catholic imagination. And Rihanna really killed it. She dressed almost like a cardinal or a pope.
The pope, yeah.
And killed it. Everybody else kind of disappointed me because, listen, I'm Catholic as hell, but I was not going to be offended.
Did you see the whole entire Black Panther cast? I saw their pictures.
They were amazing. The guy who played T'Challa, Chadwick Bosworth, he had the best male outfit.
And who proposed to their girlfriend there?
2 Chainz, but after 20 years. That's another My God.
At least it happened.
Shout out to... Yeah, but like, are we gonna celebrate the fact that he? Nah, that's another topic.
Yeah, why would we celebrate
we'll celebrate love. We'll celebrate.
You don't know why they haven't gotten married. I'm sure.
You're right. Maybe they don't got the money. I don't know, but I'm sure they have children because they've been together for 20 years.
I mean, they probably have money now, but he probably wasn't completely faithful. Maybe she checked out for a while.
That's true. You're
People
right.
would say at 20 years, it ain't like you was together. Every day for
so I'm just reading
years.
like a headline. I didn't really read the article. So
you know what I'm
forgive
saying?
me.
But they're probably on and off.
But shout out to the whole Black Panther cast who dressed amazing. Now had this like saint look that was great. I like Chadwick Bosworth. He was the best dressed male for me. A lot of the men dropped the ball on this. Like, Catholic fashion is about the way the priests have these dope ass outfits. Like today is Ascension Thursday, so you don't see it, but I'm wearing a crucifix that's made of gold. I'm wearing this shawl that's made of gold. I'm dressed in all white. I have slippers. I mean, I really should have been invited to this ball. I really feel like this ball should have been. It was tailor made for me. I really enjoyed Cardi B's look. Which was the Beyonce look from 2017. Beyonce didn't show up because Beyonce already did this shit. There is a meme that goes around that says that Beyonce showed up as the Holy Spirit, and that's why you couldn't see her. And they said it was stunning. Zendaya was amazing. Zendaya dressed as Joan of Arc. That was dope. Madonna disappointed me. As somebody who's a Catholic provocateur, you know, like she has been provoking Catholic culture for years. And I wasn't going to be offended by anything that anybody put out because it's just art at the end of the day. She dressed in this like black dress and it was just really just not
Cute.
Cute. Everybody just failed on the theme. This is like a theme where you could go ham. I mean, Ariana Grande had the Sistine Chapel on her dress. Kim Kardashian wore a gold dress with some crosses on it. Her
And she's
sister.
Catholic.
No, she's not Catholic.
Yeah, they are.
They're Armenian. They're like Coptic or something, which is like
Really?
Catholic. Yeah.
No, I
They're-
thought they were Catholic.
No, their dad is Coptic, and they're actually non-denominational Christian. They know Pastor Rich Wilkerson, who I enjoy, Junior, who I enjoy. He did their wedding.
Okay. Sorry for that.
I didn't like. Yeah, that was it. I mean, that was the. If you want to check out some of the looks, go do it. I mean, if you really want to see Catholic fashion every Sunday, you can just look at my Instagram.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
I'll be the humble one.
She'll be no.
Thank you. Subscribe.
Samil's outfits are fabulous.
Thank you. Subscribe.
So, in closing, I am Sister Mary Clarence.
And I'm Whoopi Goldberg.
And together we are Sister
Fat
Act.
Fucks.
Oh, shit. Okay, together we are
Two Fat
Fox,
Fucks.
aka Sister Act. Deuces.
Joy, 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 joy.